video, I'm going to show you my method for making a Deco mesh wreath. This past year, I've become addicted to making these wreaths. It's really relaxing. Put on a show or watch through your YouTube playlist and get to crafting. You can find supplies at the Dollar Tree for this. I've been using a website online. I think it's called just craftsupplies.com. But I'll double check that and link it in the description box below. You can also find Deco mesh at Hobby Lobby, or you can find it at Michael's or Joann's, or even Walmart had a great selection at Christmas time. And then I usually try to find something cute to put in the middle. This particular truck is from Hobby Lobby, and then sometimes I use nothing, and then other times I find something at Dollar Tree and I use that. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you like crafting and you like shopping hauls, book reviews, writing tips, anything that I consider introverted lifestyle, then be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to be notified when I upload a new video, and give this video a like if you enjoy wreath making. In the meanwhile, let's get to crafting.
So at this point, you will need some pipe cleaners. This is a wreath form, either from the Dollar Tree or Walmart. And I got this truck from Hobby Lobby, I believe. Then I have a few zip ties, which is how I'm going to attach the truck to the wreath form. My Deco mesh in like an emerald green color, a white Deco mesh, and then this really cool mint ombre one that I got from craftsupplies.com. I'll link that shop in my description below. I'm not exactly sure if that's the name of the website, but I'm pretty sure that it is. So here you can see me playing around trying to figure out where I'm going to zip tie the truck to the wreath form. This isn't really an exact science here, so I really had to think about it for a minute. So here I'm just taking my zip ties and looping them through what remains of the rope hanger that I cut off from the back of the sign. So I actually just slipped that right through the staples that were still there essentially. I'm going to zip tie my truck to the wreath form. And now that I have that all good to go, I am going to cut off the excess. And then I am going to take my pipe cleaners and I cut them in half. You don't necessarily have to do this step. There did come a point where because of space and just how little space there was, I ended up using the full pipe cleaner. But generally speaking, you can cut the pipe cleaners in half. After I cut the pipe cleaners in half, then I am taking I don't measure, I just cut, one piece of each color of the three different Deco meshes that I have. I roll each one up, which you kind of can't see, and then after I roll them up, I take all three and I tie them with the pipe cleaner, and then after I tie them with the pipe cleaner, I tie them to my wreath form. So I've seen this done a few different ways. This is the way that's easiest for me. I also like buying the wreath forms that don't already have the pipe cleaners tied to them. I feel like those are kind of pricey, and you can get pipe cleaners at the Dollar Tree, so I don't think that it's worth it personally to get the ones where the pipe cleaners are already tied on. So like I said, you cut your pipe cleaners in half, and then I cut three pieces, one of each of the Deco mesh I'm using. I am using three. Sometimes when I did my Valentine's Day wreath, I only used one color. It was kind of like a red, white buffalo check. So I just cut multiple pieces of that one. So you want to make sure that you have enough if you're only choosing one color or one type of Deco mesh. Then I roll each of the three colors up to form like a tube. Take the pipe cleaner, the half pipe cleaner, and I tie it around the three rolled up tubes. I just group them in my hand and then tie the pipe cleaner, twist it a couple times. And then I take that whole thing and I tie it onto the wreath form. Now, I was debating because of the truck of tying it to, do I want to tie it to the two center pieces of the wreath form or the two outer pieces, so like the middle and the outer ring? And I did end up actually changing my mind, because that's why I wanted to put my truck on there first. And that's because, you know, the poofs, or whatever you want to call them, of Deco Mesh take up a lot of real estate, you know. And you'll see at the end of this video that I do a lot of fluffing and rearranging so that the truck is still a prominent feature. If you don't have something you want to add to it, whether that's, you know, a sign or whatever, the wreaths are still super beautiful. I was totally in love with my Valentine's Day wreath that I did. That was just, you know, like I said, red and white buffalo check. I actually couldn't find a sign that I really liked, because I'm not really into glitter on the signs. So I also decided not to go with, I had a white Deco Mesh that had like a silver metallic lining or streak through it. And I decided, because the other ones were glittery, to not go with the glittery white one. And you can really see here, though, that this white one was really difficult actually to work with. I don't know if it's like stiffer or what the problem was. I do like the end result, but I don't know if I would ever buy this particular white Deco Mesh again. So if you notice, the wreath form is kind of divided into sections. I think there's 8 sections. And when you first start out, it's almost like you can put more poofs in a section. So the first sections have anywhere between, I would say, 8 to 12 poofs. But you'll see, just because, like I said, they take up so much real estate, that eventually you need less per space or section on the wreath form. And it's also dependent, like I said, if you're using a sign or something in the middle, that affects how many you put into each section. But general rule of thumb, I would say 8 to 12 poofs or gathers per section. One thing that you'll notice I do throughout this process, after I get the first few poofs on, is that I like to zhuzh it as I go. This gives me an idea if the colors are looking right. I was following a particular format where I put, I think I was doing the white one first, then the emerald green, then like the mint ombre one, as I gathered them up together and, you know, put them on top of each other. And so this is just my personal preference. I'm completely, you know, I just watched YouTube videos myself to figure out how to make a wreath. And my very first wreath was actually one at Halloween, and it was a combination of Deco Mesh ribbon and Deco Mesh tubing. And the tubing is actually really fun to work with as well. One thing this video is not showing is how much Deco Mesh sheds. It is everywhere. It's all over your clothes, all over the table, all over the floor. It just sheds like a beast. Okay, so now I'm getting around my sign, and this is where I have to start changing things up a little bit. So at one point I did switch to using full-length pipe cleaners, and this is just because I had to switch to the outer 2 rungs of the wreath form, because my preference is actually to use the inside, I think. And when I started using the outside, I couldn't get, you know, it was too close to the truck, and the poofs were starting to overpower the truck in the middle. Like I said, this is why I figure out the spacing and where a sign that I'm using is going beforehand, whether that's an off-center sign, you know, to the right or to the left, or one that's spanning the opening of the wreath form, because then this helps me figure out which rungs I need to use on the wreath form for my deco mesh. Later, I do end up doing a lot of zhuzhing and poofing and tucking some of the little spirals, or whatever you want to call them, rolls, so that it's behind the wreath form, because, you know, or not the wreath form, because the sign, the truck, because it's so cute and you totally want to see, you know, the truck sign. I mean, that's part of the charm of the actually finished wreath. So here I'm reaching the end of my wreath making. I'm adding the final clusters of deco mesh, and then I'm going to turn it over and zhuzh it. I really enjoy wreath making. I've been making one for every holiday / season. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more crafts and content like wreath making, please be sure to let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button so you are notified by hitting the bell when I upload a new video. And here is the final product along with my tier tray. This is my little holiday area that I decorate for all the different holidays, and I'm really in love with it. So in the meanwhile, guys, I hope you stay introverted. Bye!